Okay.
Sure.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, Chair of Indonesia Transport Society, Professor Agus Taufik Mulyono, Honorable Speakers, Associate Professor Yang Sin, and Professor Research Anwar Yamin, the Head of Research and Development Bureau, Ministry of Public Works, and Dr. Bagus Haryo Setiaji from Universitas Diponegoro. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the international webinar via Zoom meeting held by Indonesian Transport Society from South Sumatra region. Thank you for being here in international webinar with us today. Actually, the conventional flexible pavement structure is composed by the asphalt surface layer and granular base and subbase layer to place on the compacted natural subgrade soil. Such structure is very vulnerable to the moisture since the strength of the subgrade and granular layers may reduce significantly with presence of water under vehicle dynamic loading. As we know, Indonesia has a problem of over-dimension overload or ODOL trucks that cause many road damage easily. Many efforts have been done to improve the pavement quality, as well as to realize the green road pavement in Indonesia. Here we have Professor Yang that has many research conducted either in NCQ laboratory, performance test, and field performance evaluation, among other things, in Miaoli, Taiwan. In this valuable moment, we will explore how the pavement design, construction, and maintenance have been developed either in Indonesia or in Taiwan. Ladies and gentlemen, coming next, we would like to kindly invite Professor Yang Xin to deliver his presentation in 15 minutes, which will be followed by question and answer. Professor Yang, the time is yours.
Okay. Well, it's really my pleasure. So let me switch my my PowerPoint first. Actually, this one. Okay, so I think I will. It's really appreciate Professor Erica for this invitation to have this opportunity to speak in front of all of you guys. I have quite a bit relationship with Indonesia for many years actually. I think until now I have more than 10, 12 Indonesia grad student graduate with me. Master and ongoing doing the PhDs actually. We are working. Our group is mainly working on a lot of circular economies applied to the payments, from the material, from the structures, from the maintenance. Also, we are looking not only from the mechanical property, we're also looking for some of the environmental and economic aspect of the how to use this we call sustainability material or a green material into the payment. Because there's only 15 minutes, I think I have to make it quickly, briefly. So if there's other question, we can discuss further. So I will start it first. I should share my screen, right? Let me see. Share screen. Oh, okay. I think I already shared the screen. Okay. So can you see my PowerPoint? Hello?
It's not yet
can you
coming
see
up.
Not yet.
Not yet coming up.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Let me see. I should share my screen. Oh, okay. It's here.
Yes.
Okay. You see that? Okay.
Yes,
so we will start it. Okay. All right. So the topic I would like to present it today is sustainable road infrastructure in Taiwan. So a very quick outline, I will talk about why our government are so urgently to push this. It's actually because this is like climate change and a lot of actions like our government are trying to do. Also, I think my presentation today will focus on the how to implement the circular economy for sustainable payment materials. It's focused on materials, and then a very quick like a summary and remarks. So basically, you know, like the global climate change has been like you know, like it's become like a very drastically affecting our like a daily life. In like you know, in the 1880 to 2012, the global average temperature has been increasing like 0.85 degrees. I think everybody do feel that, you know, like the temperature getting hotter and hotter. You know, this like the snow and ice shell is reducing, the sea level is rising. All of these issues are actually all related to this like climate changes. And in Taiwan particularly, you know, like we saw that the average temperature globally is increasing 0.85, but actually in Taiwan, you know, we are a very, some people call us, we call Silicon Valley, Silicon Islands. We have a lot of like industrial, high technology industrial going on, a lot of factory everywhere. So actually our temperature actually raising is almost double of the global average temperature raising. So this is actually the record you can see from 1895 all the way to 2015. Especially if you're passing like 1965, 1975, you know, the temperature raising is continued increase. It never goes back. So it actually makes our, and if we analyzing all of this, the greenhouse gas emission, you know, every years, like in 1990 to 2014, has increasing like about 116%. It's average like a 3% every year. We're increasing the emission of like a greenhouse gas to the like global environments. So among these, actually majority of these are actually the CO2 emissions. So in order to respond to that, actually our government since early 2000, actually starting from the very high, I think in Indonesia, it's called prime minister, okay, called in a prime minister level, but in Taiwan we call executive yuan, which is this one, the executive yuan level. We have been pushing for many like government acts or like you know, research in order to you know, trying to reduce the energy and the carbon footprint, carbon emissions to the environment. So almost every years, every other years, government has a research published or like guideline or like study books for all kind of these various kind of like activities. From the very early one in 2008, you can see they have like energy conservation and carbon reduction white papers. So that actually is in a very high level, and then to like guide all the other ministry actually how you should actually actively reduce your like energy control and also carbon emissions. Until the very recently in the 2020, if you see here 2020, my group and also a senior professor in my department, we just have finish a new project. It's called Taiwan Green Urban Road Rating System. So that one is a systematically, if you ever heard about something about green building, the LEEDs. So that actually giving a building construction or building industry a rating way to how to develop and how to design and how to construct a building with a greener perspective. And this year, we just finished that for the road infrastructure system. And we are going to re-implement this kind of system in the later this year or like early next year. But we don't really have opportunity. I would really love to present you about the green rating system we developed for the road infrastructures. So basically, Taiwan is a very small island. I mean, a very small island compared to the Indonesia, from population-wise, from the country area-wise. This is actually about our role, like a mile length. It's only about totally 40,000 in the major roads. I mean, major roads. So, however, this actually transportation system is among actually one of the largest economic sectors who input to the sustainable world invaluable. I mean, we have a lot of traffic. Of course, I think like in Jakarta, there's also a crazy traffic. I remember I've been travel to Jakarta. Every time was actually amazed about how many cars are on the road actually. So, let me see what happened. Why there's a green this line here. So if we look at about a life cycle of highway, okay, you see like a highway construction, starting from like a raw material extraction and to the material the fuel or electricity, and then running on top of the roadway system. So among these, the two most energy consumption, like places is one is actually about the vehicle driving, and the second one will be actually the material uses. Okay, so in today, because we are more about payment people, I believe so, infrastructure people. So I will focus my presentation about in the material and the construction perspective about how to make a more sustainable and greener roadway system. So, the thing is like sustainability is not actually a new concept for payment industry. You know, we have been, for example, I quote from the EPA, which is from US, like Environmental Protection Agency, and most recycled products. You know, like almost 90% of asphalt material are actually recycled. It has been using for the perpetual pavement, the wall mix, the art wrap, which is recycled asphalt payments. And also a lot of these like activity like trucking and tire industry, their research are all toward to reducing the fuel usage and emissions. So the next question, like except for building the roads, okay, engineering, the thing is like we need to know, we should actually start considering about the environmental impact and also the economic aspect about the roads. So I'll give you some of the example how can, you know, using the material which can achieving all three, like economic, environmental, and society parameters. What happened to here?
Stuck.
Oh, okay. So, okay, I think my PowerPoint has a little bit problem. This one. Okay, sorry. So you can see this like asphalt payment. You know, 80%, that many asphalt is actually like being recycled. The scrap steel is okay. So as a payment practice, I believe many of the roads are still built in this way. We have like a nature subgrade with a compacted subgrade. On top of that, we'll put the either crushed granular base or cement treated base. On top of that, we'll put the asphalt concrete. I think this is a very standard like